All right, we got 30-year-old Jeremy Paul here today from Germany. He was at the Corn Ferry last year, finished 21st, so he earned his PGA Tour card, one of the best young players in the game. I'm excited to meet him and see how we can help. If you like videos like this and more content from my TPI, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. We'll keep you notified anytime a new video launches. So I don't want to assume anything. I always say, imagine you're walking down the beach, you find a bottle, you rub on it, and a genie pops out. And let's say it's us. And we give you 3 wishes today for your golf game. How can we help?
I would like to improve my driving.
Improve your driving? Because you didn't mention that over here. So you didn't mention it as a strength, you didn't mention it as a weakness.
I go through phases where I drive it really, really well, and I feel like I'm one of the best drivers, and then I go sometimes through phases where I don't drive it as well. But in my good weeks, I drive it really well.
So when you said improve your driving, were you speaking distance, accuracy, or both?
I would say consistency, probably.
So just repeat your good driving skills more often.
Exactly. Even in the past when I feel like, wow, physically I did a lot in the gym, I worked out a lot, and I got a lot stronger. In my opinion, it didn't translate to more output in my golf swing.
Got it. Okay.
I almost feel faster at the end of the season, even though I'm a touch lighter, but I feel like I'm looser.
Okay.
A lot of times when I feel like I gained 10 pounds, and I felt like, wow, all my outputs are really high in the gym. I almost felt slower. Like, I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely. Jeremy's kind of explaining that, like, as the season goes on, he almost feels weaker, but he feels like he's faster. So what he's describing is what the research shows, right? Heavy strength makes you slower, start to taper off, go to speed, you create more speed. I just think we just need to educate him a little bit more on that. So we'll take you through our screen, get an idea of maybe if there's, if guys that have mobility problems, and they do heavy strength training, they always play worse because it makes them tighter too. We'll make sure there's nothing common sense, stuff like that. So we'll look at your mobility, we'll look at your strength, we'll look at your power. Then we'll go probably get on our force plates, which is how you start the distance conversation. So we'll look to see how you're creating power. If the force plates are problematic, we almost always start there for distance. So we'll probably do physical, force plate, then maybe we'll go around a green, watch him chip a couple balls. Sound like a plan? Let's do it. All right, so he's telling me his areas where he can improve. He said chipping, scrambling around the green. He's also struggling a little bit with driving accuracy and power. Nobody's ever going to say no to more power. Those are the things I think we're going to be looking at. And you don't feel any discomfort there.
Not right now, no. Can't really do the thing turning into my right side.
Keep your heels on the ground. How far down can you squat?
Very far.
Okay, and come on back up. Keeping the heels on the ground. Let me see you squat now. That didn't help much. Let me watch that one more time.
No ankle mobility.
It looks like you're putting more weight on your left leg. Do you feel yourself avoiding your right leg?
From now it's fine, but deeper for sure. Okay.
Take your knee in front of your toe as far as you can, keeping your heel on the ground. And let's compare that to your right side and see if either side feels tighter. That was pretty limited. Keep the heel on the ground.
This is more restricted.
Feels worse on the right. Just the left arm. And back down. Just the right arm. Either one harder?
Same.
Yep. Okay. Well, dude, you are definitely a mobility, primary problem. Looking at Jeremy's physical screen, it's pretty clear right now that we've lost the mobile joints. It's kind of hard to play golf if everything's stable. The brain goes, where am I getting motion from? And this is where compensations show up. It's really important that you have a good mix of mobile and stable joints throughout your body, right? Let me see, go out. Easier out on this side.
Easier out on this side.
Go in.
Nothing.
Go in. So basically it's backswing again. It's everything this way, in and out over there. I'm noticing hip range of motion is reduced on his right side. Not even close. Trunk rotations, even a little more restricted, turning to the right. We need to talk a little bit more about what he's doing, how this is happening. You've got mobile joints connected by stable joints. And when you do an athletic maneuver like a golf swing, right? What do you think you should use? You should use your mobile joints, right? If for some reason my hip doesn't have mobility or my spine doesn't have mobility, what the brain does is it does one of two things. It either goes, okay, it's as far as you can go, or it goes compensate, plan B. So it goes knee, you're supposed to stay stable, but you know what, right now I need more. It tries to make it go lower back, I want you to do more, and it tries to get things from where it shouldn't get things. And looking at your screen real quick, you've lost ankle mobility, you've lost hip mobility on the right side, you've lost
thoracic mobility. You've even lost a little bit of shoulder mobility. And I'm like, those are all the M's.
Stabilizer.
Yes, but I can tell you, when you get into strength training, if you start reducing your mobility, you're definitely not going to like your swing as much.
I just feel like it gets shorter.
Yeah. Listen, you can always increase strength, but you can't sacrifice length. That's really, really important.
There's only 3 ways to hit a ball farther if I'm trying to create power. You need speed, you need strength, and you need length or mobility when you're working out, right? You can never sacrifice length for strength. If you look at a powerlifter in the Olympics, they get underneath the weight. They don't lift the weight over their head. They have not sacrificed length of their tissue for strength of their tissue. And a lot of people do that when they strength train. Just never want to shortchange your range of motions when you're doing strength training so that this never becomes a problem.
So now what I'd like to do is I like to check your strength and your power. Go. 18.9, okay. Nice. Now the fun part, face that way, left hand. Nice, okay. Okay, hold on, stay right there.
We get to the power testing. Lower body, PGA Tour average is 23. Think of it like horsepower. We use our vertical jump for this. His is a 21. Core, usually it's around 22 horsepower core. His is around 19. Upper body, average on tour is 22. His is around 18. So his power numbers are down a little bit here. Just his strength. Guess what? Strength is high. So as his strength's going up, he's doing things slower, which makes sense. If you're lifting heavy weights, you do it slower. But if you start sacrificing speed, now you're sacrificing power.
You can see it again says the core strength is fine, it's speed. You're not going to fall in a strength bucket with us.
Yeah.
We want you to increase your power, but it'd be more of ballistic speed type of stuff.
That would make sense with the experience I've made in the previous years that I felt.
And like you said, when you play more too, it becomes more exciting, it gets better. That's kind of hard. Like I said, it's hard to beat data. A coach should know what you're doing, they should know how you're doing it, and they should know why you're doing it before they open their mouth, right? What we just did is one of the big whys, right? I'd like to go do some whats and hows now, to go see kind of what you do, how you do it. The first thing I like to do is how, which is the force plate. It tells me how you move. So if you're ready, I'm ready, we're gonna go hit some balls.
So we went in and tested his powers. Power's down. Some pretty big mobility restrictions. The good news is a lot of it's backswing related, right? You know, you have plan A, I should use my mobile joints. Well, when plan A is not possible, you gotta come up with plan B if you're gonna be a great player. And this is where it's gonna be interesting when we get into the swing. I wanna kind of figure out, how did he get around these things? What has he been doing?
What do you work on with your coach? Like, is there anything specific you guys try and do or that you've worked on recently?
Sometimes I get a little too far under and then it flips a little bit, and
Okay.
then I work on getting the right shoulder more over.
Okay.
But then sometimes also the shot gets.
You get a little bit the other way.
Yeah.
Yep. Got it.
The problem is my grip's pretty strong,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really feel very comfortable
Changing
my
it.
grip.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally I would need to make my grip a touch weaker, but I don't really grip until like the last minute because I'm like I just like having my hands loose. So then for me, it's always when I have my hands weaker, it always feels very unnatural.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Jeremy said that he has a tendency sometimes to hang back and kind of flip the club, which can create a left big miss. So what he's been working on with his coach is trying to cover and get his upper body more on top and onto the left side. Conversely, it can lead to the little block to the right or the miss to the right. He's reluctant to change his grip. We always say grip is a 4-letter word for a reason, right? They're tough to make those modifications.
Okay, whenever you hear it.
Double plate ready.
There you go. Let's do 3 of those.
Double plate ready.
And we'll do 1 more.
Double plate ready.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay, so first impression, I see a little flatter than normal backswing. Kind of goes left early, which isn't a big surprise for what we saw in the gym. Remember, I thought it was really hard for him to turn in the backswing, so it makes a sense that he's just gonna avoid it and start to go left early. Good news here on the force plate is he's actually got a great kinetic sequence. When you create power from the ground, you can either push really hard or you can have a gradual push and just push for a long time. We see him moving lateral early. He just has a very long and steady push through the swing.
Will it be interesting to see? I have like, when I have to send it, I swing it different.
Oh, then definitely. Let me see a driver where you send it.
And your send it, is it an extra 10? Is it extra?
Yeah, I would say usually I have like 75, between 75, 77. If I send it
Can get to 180?
Are you nervous to swing hard?
If it's wide open, I'll happy to do it. But
It's not accurate. But he said you cruise at like 70%. Is that real or is it more like 90%?
I would say 80, 85.
You leave 20% on the table when you go play? I'm just asking, what, do you think that's okay?
Now he just drops a bomb on us, right? He says that, hey, when I compete, I'm kind of only swinging at 80%. I can tell you right now, the people he's competing against, they're not leaving 20% on the table, right? If you take low power and then you take 20% away, now we've got a weakness, a big weakness. We don't want to do that.
I'd take a 75 in the middle over like an 80 in the trash, you know? If I have an iron from the short grass, I feel very good. Yeah. If I hit it in the Bermuda rough, I just don't know what it's doing.
How much farther is your go sender one?
It doesn't go that much further because it has more spin, but if I have to fly something, I do it. Like if there's a bunker at 300 yards and I have to fly it, I just...
You know, most players have fear of swinging harder because they feel like it's going to make them less accurate. I think what we have to do is explain to players that with practice and with volume, sometimes these things are better. I like to see what does it look like when he goes 100%, because if we can fix that and make him comfortable, let's do that.
Okay, let me see sender one.
Double plate ready.
I'm not going to say much because I want to get your 6-iron first, but then we'll come back. I just want to look at it real fast.
I mean, I know exactly what I'm doing when I do it.
That's a good thing.
That's good.
Right side, I go up, and then...
And you go down, you really push?
I wouldn't say I hit less fairway if I go for it.
Yeah,
The big miss is...
that's the issue.
Do you see more power output on your data as well?
Yeah, you went from 141% of your body weight pushing, 141, to 164 when you went after it. That's a big jump.
When he does the go after it swing or his send it swing, immediately his vertical forces jump 20%. So he was right, he was leaving 20% on the table. The good news is when he goes after it, he actually does create more force. That will turn into more club head speed. It's just something we just need to make sure it matches with loft and attack angle, and practice usually will help him do this.
Or lateral too.
But it makes sense. I would say I hit my driver compared to how far I hit my irons. I don't hit my driver as far.
So what's your normal 6-iron?
My 6-iron probably goes 205.
Yeah, that's strong. Well, let's get some irons.
Yeah, when you get your irons.
He says that when he looks at irons, that he's very competitive with distance. So he hits his irons great, but it's only when he gets to the driver where it starts to go down. Well, maybe he's not treating the driver as a different shot. Maybe he's trying to hit a driver like an iron. A driver is a specialty shot. You got a ball and a tee, you're swinging up, positive attack angle. It's different. It's different than ball on the ground.
Double plate ready.
We'll get 3 of those again.
Double plate ready.
And we'll do one more.
Double plate ready.
All right, let me look at your 6-iron real fast. You got very interesting swing.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, I like unique.
He kind of moves his lower body early towards the target. Anytime I see that, it usually makes all your ground reaction forces late. Jeremy's the opposite. He actually starts going left early, but his ground reaction forces are really early, right? Which is kind of neat.
Yeah, you got 2 different swings, driver and iron. Yeah. That's good though. I like different swing. You see that, Dave? Twist first.
Yes, yeah.
You know, that lateral looks late there, but he does a lot of that what we were talking about before with the left foot pushing. I mean, anytime the club does that,
Yeah.
you're going to have to twist early or else you're going to. That's actually a good thing for him, not a bad thing.
The big difference between his driver and his iron, which is kind of different, is his lateral motion, right? What he does with his iron is he has a very minimal amount of lateral push until he gets to transition, and then it's a big push, like big magnitude of lateral drive right around transition. In the driver, he's taking around and he's pushing lateral in the backswing, but he doesn't have a big secondary drive or push in transition, which is a little different. Could be one of the problems with the driver.
This helps us like step inside your body and feel what you're doing on the ground. So what I'd like to see is I'd like to see, imagine you're just doing a stock 10 to 12 yard shot.
Okay.
Little chip.
So when it comes to chipping, one of the things we look at is always center of mass, right? So what you'll see with best chippers is they move towards the target, they move away from the golf ball, and they move up, right? So it's left, back, and up. That's what great chippers do.
You see that? Are you watching that? Well, that I can tell you right now, that explains the chipping problems. All right, so that's good. We can help you a lot with your chipping. I need 20 yard stock. Man, he's even doing it here. It's always going down.
Yeah. That shot, especially if you get in Bermuda or
Oh yeah,
tough alive.
that's death.
One of the things with Jeremy that we're seeing here is he's a down, 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 down guy, right? So instead of going up, back, and left, he's going down, right? As you go down, then in transition, he goes down even more, and he just keeps going down. You know, he's saying, I'm struggling with Bermuda grass. Well, now it makes a lot of sense. You start going down into Bermuda grass, everybody's gonna struggle.
Let's go back to the start here. You asked the genie for improving driving consistency, driving distance, longevity, and then we said scrambling, chipping. I'm going to talk scrambling first. I want to talk about this right here, COMUD. That's center of mass. So that's imagine like the center of your body moving up and down. This is what most people don't understand. Going down in the downswing is death in chipping. The best chippers always go up. So you start at negative 1.36. So that's your zero. That's your zero, right? So if it gets more negative, you're going down. Okay, it's going more negative. Going down, you're going down. I'm like, you're still going down. So you squat and then stand up. Full swing, you'll see stuff like that, right? Chipping, we can't have that.
One of the worst things you can do in chipping is actually lower your center of mass, because now you can't release the club. If you actually release the club, it'll hit the ground, right? You actually need to make space for the club to be able to release.
Is that really weird? Good. Let's get that one now.
Double plate ready.
That's got a chip. That had a chance. Let me take a look at that. That looked good.
Finesse wedge players are early releasing the club to expose the bounce of the club, has better turf interaction.
Let me look and see if that went up or down. It's getting better. You just got to practice more. You're going the right direction. And the more you practice, it'll go earlier. Let's go out there just for 2 minutes. I want you to feel it on turf.
I think one of the important things of getting out on the turf, right, is the player wants to feel the interaction with the club and the turf. I want them to feel too that, hey, actually contact feels way more solid here. It's not as scary as it used to be, right? So I think it's important to get them on grass as fast as possible.
If throwing the club is for me easy, the hard part is
Yeah, but the two feed each other though. Yeah, it's gonna be way easier. That to me is, it's so much more release than you're used to. Do a couple more of those. That was really nice. You don't need to pick it doing this. That was nice. Yeah, you can hear the sound of those. Let's go bunker.
One of the important skills in good bunker play is actually entering the sand in the same spot or in the spot you're intending to enter. So your entry point, your bottom of your swing arc is so important to be able to control in sand and bunkers. So a great little test you can do is just draw a line in the sand and just start and see if you can hit the line. And then back up and see if you can hit the line. If you can consistently hit that spot, well then at least you know where the club's entering. If it's all over the place, this is one of the first things you got to work on.
I want you to just take a swing here. I want you to enter right here, and then here and here, just stay on the line. So just, let me see you splash, hit the line. And go step forward, do it again, hit the line. That was a little behind the line, right? Keep going, still a little behind the line. That was in front of the line, keep going forward. And that was on the line.
So my first reaction with Jeremy is I'm like, for his level of play, he's not very accurate at entering where he thinks he's entering. I think we need to clean that up first.
Draw a line again. Let me see you do what we just did with chipping and see if you can hit the line better. But just make sure you release and go up. Good, see if you can do that again. Notice that those were 2 in a row. You didn't show me 2 in a row before.
So by eliminating the down feeling, getting him to go up, we're actually stabilizing the bottom of the arc. And he can see right away when he's doing this line drill, all of a sudden he's hitting his entry spot over and over again. That's an exciting feeling for a player.
That's look at that, you just did 3 in a row right there. That's what it does different.
I try to do the same thing.
Yep. Now remember, if you lift and pick, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
It's okay to hit the ground. It's okay to hit the ground now.
Now, just because you're entering in the right point where you were before, you now have to control energy, you have to be able to practice this. This might be the first time you've done this, right? So this is one of those things, again, where I just say set up and shut up. Show them what they need to do, and then let them go get some repetitions.
It's not going to dig. You can splash. Still. Okay, so now move the entry a little farther behind. Same movement though. Yep.
Good players, you will usually figure this out. They just need to put a couple repetitions in there now, understand that the club face is in a different position than it was before. He's moving up instead of moving down. He's releasing the club a little earlier. But once he puts the pieces together, usually you'll start to see it real quick. He'll start hitting a couple shots where he's like, I haven't hit one like that before.
For higher, I want the handle as low as possible.
Yeah.
Let me see you do that. How low can you get the handle? Now, to get the handle low, you got to get your feet wider, right?
Yeah, wider goes.
Wider and get the handle as low as you can. Go as low as you can. Let me see you do now the same thing. Stay stable, don't go down, and release. And now if I said, let's get the handle as high as you can. Same swing.
So there's a couple ways to control trajectory in your chipping and in your bunker game, right? One is you can just open up the loft, right? So point the face to the sky. Another one that does exactly the same thing is lower the handle, right? So as you lower the handle, the face tends to open up, right? A lot of great wedge players, great bunker players try and get the handle low. To do that, you got to get your feet farther apart, get a little farther from the ball, and get the handle down. But then the swing's the same. I want Jeremy to experiment with this because you never know what's the best way to control trajectory for each player. Let them try different methods.
Try this one. Just try and, like you're riding a horse, okay, knees outside, and don't move your lower body. Just use your upper body.
Why don't you focus on the right knee?
So keep your right heel stays on the ground. Everything stays on the ground. It's just an upper body swing. Just take your lower body out of the shot. Yeah, just stay level and you can splash. You can hit the sand.
I think if you think level.
That was nice right there. This is completely not how you would hit a bunker shot, but set up like you're going to hit. Just want you to do a drill. You're not actually going to hit this ball, but you're just going to set up like you're going to hit this ball. And I want you to get to the point in your backswing, your left knee's bent, and hold your backswing position. Okay, now from here, I just want you to practice a couple times of legs straightening as your arm comes down. Yep.
I mean, for me, all I feel is like my weight's like 80% left.
Just, I want you to feel the knee extending as the arms come down. Now, when in your swing, if it just didn't move, it'd be great, because yours goes down, right? That's the opposite of you, right? We just need a little bit of that bracing. You hear that? Yeah. That's what not going down does. Yeah, you just need to practice that. You have too much down in your around the green. Yep. Love it. Okay. All right. Let's go talk driver.
So the big takeaway here around the green is whether it's chipping or in the sand, we can't go down, down, down in our golf swing. We got to go up, 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 right? You do those, put those together with good hand-eye coordination, you're going to be a good player.
Classic. Okay, so let me show you on your full swing. The first thing I see that happens is this right here, which is twist. Like you said, you go left a little early, so the lateral's a little late. You start to twist, then you rock, then you jump, which is exactly you described. I go late over here, I twist a little bit, and then I rock and jump, right? It's exactly what you do over here. The good news is when you do your last jump, like I said, timing, look where the club is. Most guys, like the club is shaft vertical or later, like he is super early, which is like, that's a superpower. That's so good, the timing when you do that.
So like most players, when he swings harder, creates more athleticism in his swing, right? His numbers go up. His vertical went from 141% to 161%. I mean, that's a 20% increase. That's something we want.
PGA Tour average, just their normal cruising, is 198, right? So you don't do a lot of vertical. When you went after it, you added vertical, right? So if I was going to go after more power, I would probably just work on your vertical push. Now here's the crazy thing is, it's also what's going to help your chipping, is to get more vertical, you know what I mean, if you think about it. So from a power development standpoint, I think you already know this. When I said, show me your go after swing, and you swung hard, what did you do? Like, what do you do?
Like go up more, lift up my left heel basically,
Yep,
get higher,
yep.
and then go down, and I can go up more.
Makes you jump more.
Yeah.
So you basically squat and jump.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to say it's the size. If you want to hit the ball farther, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, okay. So, no, I mean,
I mean, I'm like, you already know that.
So I don't see the negative here. I think he thinks the negative is I'm going to lose accuracy. Well, that's just because this is the first time he's done this. He's how many times has he done the other swing versus this one? Always remind them you can get good at anything. You're a great player for a reason. You just need to practice it.
When you do the crazy swing, the go after, which I love, right? Everything you do is better over here. If you don't release, ball's going right, is what I'm telling you.
yeah,
I think if you did your crazy swing, now you need to release. You need to feel like you're going to hook it and the ball's going to go perfect. I would practice going after it hard, feeling like you're going to try and hook it. And I think you would prove to yourself that it's hard for you to hit it left.
yeah,
And you wouldn't be scared to release it. Does that make sense?
yeah.
In general, players that swing from inside to out tend to hook the ball. They move the ball to the left. Players that swing from outside in, like over the top, they tend to move the ball left to right. Kind of leaves the face open and creates the little slice. Right? So anytime you have a player that is taking the club really far inside in the backswing, you're thinking, hey, they're going to go from inside to outside, and usually a left is the miss.
If you said to me, Greg, invest in this kid, what would you tell him to do when I put it all in? Dude, we're going as hard as you can with your driver and you're releasing it. And I'd want you to do that until you prove to me that you can't hit it better doing that.
Yeah, no.
Can we go hit a couple drives like that out there?
Yeah.
So to put this all together, first and foremost, okay, you can't go down with chipping. Number two,
Okay, that's on
you got to go after mobility. That's for longevity. It's going to make you be able to load into your backswing even better.
Yep.
And now you won't go left as early because you'll actually have the ability to go on.
to rotate, okay?
Yeah. And then for the driver, you know, to me, why are we leaving 20% in the bag? You're going to have regrets with this. And when you do it and go after it, it's exactly what I would have told you to do, how to fix your driver. Keep going. I want to see you do like 3 or 4 like that. That feels like forehand to you?
Right now I'm more focused on,
I'm just doing the crazy swing.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the one you could add a little more forehand to, but that's still a great shot.
That's the miss I like.
I was gonna say, like, if you don't like that, you don't like golf.
So I watch him as he's doing these drills, and it's beautiful. Like right away, the contact's better, everything's great. And then I say, hey, just show me a finder again. And there it is. You can see that slow motion, take 20% off, and there's just nothing good about that. I'm hoping he feels the same thing I'm seeing.
Here's what I would do. And we do this with all of our players, and I'm telling you, this is the safest way to do this, okay? Get your launch monitor, do your cruising one, okay? Look at your club head speed, look at your ball speed. Then aim left, swing to the right with the tennis racket as hard as you can, and do like 10 balls, and look at the ball and see the speed's gonna go up, right? Then go, okay, let me go back to my cruiser. You go back to your cruiser's usually 2 miles an hour faster.
For sure. Train the body to...
Our goal is for your cruiser to be really fast, right? So the more you do this, the cruising gets faster, and the sooner the two bleed, and you don't really have a cruiser anymore.
Usually I like to have this like get out of jail swing, you know, like basically nothing's going right. Like what can I do and get this finder swing just in case I need it. But man, there's such a dramatic difference. Like he makes it so unathletic that I actually think that it's going to get him in more trouble than it's going to help.
It feels so anti what I should be doing.
It's scary because you feel like it's going to make it go left, but it doesn't. It actually, if you don't, it's going to go right. I mean, dude, that's the best drive I've seen today. That was killed.
Yeah, I love that one. Explain to me again, I didn't quite...
Why it's opposite the feel?
Yeah, why should I give it a forehand,
Okay.
not hit it left?
Because what you've done is this. Okay, so stand right here. Okay, so I'm totally exaggerating here. Okay, you've gone flat around, right? And now what you do is you've gone steep. You've gone steep, but you bring it on plane over here. But because you're steep and the face is square, closed, how you hit this ball right? You can't. If you're going to miss anything, it's going to go left. Especially if you do this and you stay back, it's going to go left, right? So what happens is you do this enough, you're like, I'm scared of left, and instead of, most players release like this. Okay, if I release like this, now I'm going to hit someone over here. So what you do is you go, you know what, I can't release like this, I just hold off. you hold off, right? But now all of a sudden, you've got this hold off release to protect from the left. Now you go all of a sudden and say, hey, I'm going to do a swing and it's way more biomechanically efficient. And you do this great, you load, you swing over here, but now the face is open. I'm like, now you got to close it because the ball, it's going to go right if you don't close it, but you're scared to close it because your old swing would go left, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You can't bring your old save release to this more biomechanically effective swing.
All right, so great day here with Jeremy Paul. A couple of things I think key to learn from this session. So number one, if your power's down, don't assume you have a strength problem. A lot of times strength is not the problem, it could be speed. And sometimes strength can actually impact your length and your mobility, right? So I love strength training, just make sure you understand where to apply it and how to apply it effectively. The other takeaway here is around the short game, right? We talk about this all the time. You can't go down around short game. Chipping, bunkers, right? Best players in the world, remember their center of mass goes forward, back, and up, right? You keep that in mind, you're gonna be better. And then last thing I would tell you is for longevity, maintain your mobility. When your mobile joints aren't mobile and you start using your stable joints, things tend to go bad really quick.
And by the way, what I just showed you there, when the adrenaline's going, this gets better. You just need to make sure you release. If your miss is going to be right, if you don't release, like it's great to line up on the center of the fairway and try and draw, and it can't go left. There's nothing better than that.
So it's easier to not hit it left if you aim more left and then try to draw it.
That for you, yes, yes.
If I was going to add one last thing here to Jeremy, and hopefully he's listening and so are you, is make your swing more athletic, right? Don't hold 20% in the tank if you've got it. Swing harder, do it more. You'll actually get more power, you'll be more accurate, and you won't have any regrets. So if you guys like content like this and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe and like button below.